Hello and welcome to the forecast for November 17th until the 23rd. This is a very eventful week with a new moon in Scorpio as well as a Mercury Cazimi. Mercury is fully in retrograde and it is definitely noisy, and Uranus is activating so many planets. So imagine this week of a lot of action, growth, expansion, breakthroughs. This is also an amazing time with this grand water trine. We actually have two grand water trines. Like, the list is just constantly going with how many extraordinary events that are happening this week. So definitely, again, not a boring week, especially right before going into Thanksgiving season for those of us who are in the US. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And please make sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell, and share this forecast with those who need this kind of valuable information. It's always nice to prepare. All right, let me make this big for you. So we're going to start off on Monday. Our sun is in Scorpio, but look at this grand water trine we got going. There is a solid triangle here, and it's happening exact 25 degrees of sun in Scorpio. Jupiter is at 25 degrees in Cancer, and Saturn is at 25 degrees here in Pisces, and they're all in these water signs. And what is water signs? This is emotional depth. This is our intuition. And here, our visions and our confidence and our ability to carry them forward in this physical plane into reality, all of them are working together very harmoniously. And as we are, seeing our grand plans and visions, which I'm sure many of us have gone through multiple iterations, considering we're in a grand time of transition for humanity in general and society. There's a lot of restructuring of society. What's beautiful about this is that we are connected to our feelings, and we are connected to our spiritual gifts. We are connected to our intuition, and that can really guide us and lead us through this. And our confidence is shining, and our ability to strategize too is strengthened. I love the intentionality. I love the presence and the connection with oneself that is available to us as we are moving forward in this grand, like 2025, 2026 restructuring of reality that's going on. We also have Uranus quite loud here. It is in opposition both to Sun and Mercury, and these are going to get tighter as we move through the week, but we're already feeling it. And Mercury's in retrograde, okay? It's in retrograde in Sagittarius, so there's still a lot of reviewing, reassessing. The mind is reflecting, okay? It's an internal process, but Uranus is quite a catalyzing force here. This is electrifying energy. This is breakthrough energy. This is enlightenment. And it is talking to both the sun and Mercury. So talk about like the ability to break through some patterns that have been holding us back. There's actually a lot of healing energy with this grand water trine. And with Uranus also shining towards the sun, in a way, it's activating this whole grand water trine even more. Uranus brings change, brings an up leveling, and it's optimization too. It's very innovative. So if it's, I would say, nearly impossible to not experience some sort of growth, expansion, transformation, healing in this week. I mean, we're all going to be feeling and going through that. Okay, moon is also in Libra at the beginning of the day, but towards the afternoon, moon will go ahead and enter into Scorpio and join Venus and sun. But at least moon in Libra brings us a little bit of peace and harmony and gentleness. But in the afternoon, it will transition to Scorpio. So we're going to feel the intensity of all of this change and transformation that we're internally going through. Okay, now let's go to Tuesday. Tuesday, moon does that official transfer into Scorpio that whole day, and it's going to be conjunct Venus. So it's going to get closer and closer to Venus throughout the day. And that's wonderful. Look, Scorpio energy is about depth and truth and honesty and change and transformation and healing. It talk about really connecting with some of our subconscious patterns and dealing with some of our emotional difficulties too. It's about facing them. It's about being present with them and working with them. And here we're going to at least have some beautiful harmonious energy with the moon connected to Venus. And this brings some softness. It brings empathy and compassion and sweetness. And it can also bring us closer in our relationships in general. And our conversations are not going to be surface level ones. They're going to be very deep ones. They're going to be spiritual ones. They're going to be filled with a lot of vulnerability and honesty. And here again, Uranus, it's getting a little tighter. You know, this Mercury opposite Uranus, this is breaking the mind free. This is changing the way you view something, changing the way you see something, and having a more enlightened and bigger perspective, especially being in Sagittarius. Sagittarius is a visionary, and it has this eagle eye type of view where it can see the whole picture and understand the context of things. So this is really helpful in all of this change that we are going through. It is giving us a very wide perspective, a wide viewpoint. And then with all this Scorpio, we're integrating all of these changes. We're embodying them. The moon also, represents the physical body. And we're going to be coming up against a new moon here in Scorpio real soon. All right, so on Wednesday, we're going to see we're really inching our way towards this new moon. It's going to happen in the wee hours of Thursday, but look at this. Uranus and Mercury is an exact opposition. So here we're going to feel the peak of this, and even it's pretty close to the sun, right? It's only like 2 degrees off from that 29 degrees. So both the sun and Mercury are feeling this Uranus quite intensely. But what's really amazing about this, like I said, is that it cracks the mind open, and we are going to get new insights and revelations and information here. I mean, you could get a piece of information, randomly. You can't plan these things that completely change your forward approach towards something. And it's now Mercury is also, note, it's back into Scorpio. And with Mercury back into Scorpio, this is that investigative sign. It's about depth of understanding. It's research. It's creative, strategic problem solving. So the mind is very, very active here in Scorpio, as well as opposite Uranus. The mind might be a bit more restless, and it's kind of hard to shut it off. I do recommend doing some water type of treatments, maybe a bath or a shower or anything where you're around water, in water, to help calm down all of this intensity, because this is electric energy here, Uranus, and it just sometimes can be a bit much. And look, not only that, this whole grand water trine that we've got going, we're also incorporating the moon, we're incorporating Mercury. There's multiple grand water trines happening where it's layering all of these other planets besides just the sun. So here, Mercury and moon, you'll see it in the new moon. Actually, let me just go into this. Okay, it's changed a little bit, but it's just down here instead of on the left. You'll see in Scorpio, look at this. We've got on Thursday, 28 degrees of moon, sun, and Mercury, plus all of these three are connected to this grand water trine, plus Uranus is opposite these three, plus Mercury is Cazimi. So as you can tell, this is a very electrifying type of day. It actually happens in the middle of the night, but we're going to feel it Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You're going to feel the intensity of all this. So here, let's just talk about this new moon in Scorpio. It's all at 28 degrees. We have Mercury as part of this. And when I see Mercury Cazimi, this means Mercury is at the heart of the sun. It's at the throne of the sun. So this, even though Mercury is in retrograde, this is a very beneficial exalted position for Mercury. Mercury is then strengthened. So all of your analytical skills, all of your learning and connecting and digging deep and trying to understand the hidden truths of something, of yourself, maybe the hidden truths of your visions and, what you are to do to bring things forward in this physical realm. Like, you are brilliant right now. The mind is just sharp. It's very clever. It's pointed. I mean, it is intelligent. It can solve problems like no other here. This is genius level. And then to have Uranus opposite all this is genius energy here. So you, like I said, you're probably going to stumble across something very important that is going to carry you forward. I know that whenever I've had a Mercury opposite Uranus here, because we've had it not long ago, because Mercury, was in Scorpio and now it's retrograded back into Scorpio. I had incredible ideas for my business, for a workshop, for a book, like everything just popped open. So that's how powerful this time is. Plus, it's a new moon. It's within a new moon. So this new moon is activated so much by this Uranus, plus generously supported by an exalted Jupiter in Cancer. So there is so much richness and fertility in the soil in which we plant these new moon seeds. And then you've got Saturn that provides structure and stability and foundation and order and discipline. I mean, you can't get anything better than this. This is magical. So please do not forget to plant some new moon seeds. This is the most exciting new moon I feel like we've had all year. Plus it's Cazimi. I mean, oh my goodness. There's so much luck. There's a lot of luck and opportunity and transformation, healing, growth that is just baked into this new moon. Now look, we're not going to probably see the fruits of this new moon for about 6 months. Typically, it's 6 months from a new moon in Scorpio till the full moon in Scorpio, where we experience the full harvest of the new moon seeds that we plant now. So plant it now and also consider what house in which Scorpio is sitting in. So right now here in this situation, it's in the 3rd house. I'm just giving an example, and comment down below. Let me know what house number Scorpio is in. And in the 3rd house, this is going to deal with local communities, for example. The fact that there's Venus here, Venus does represent relationships. So here, this looks like someone, and Mercury's communication and connection too. This looks like someone who would benefit greatly from planting new moon seeds around cultivating and creating like this local community, maybe creating meetups, for example, or regular dinners or something like that, where they're bringing people together. And it's not bringing people together just only to have fun and play, but bringing people together with the intention of healing, with the intention of transformation, with the intention of, dealing with hidden matters, hidden things. This is not small talk gatherings. This is very deep, connected, intense energy in which they are bringing people together. So it's very powerful. It's transformational. So that's just to give you an idea, if it's happening in the 10th house, and all of that is going to be reflected in your career life. Okay. So anyways, this is a fabulous, fabulous new moon, and it has so many beautiful features that whatever you do plant here, I'm pretty sure in 6 months you are going to see a very abundant harvest that comes from it. So don't let it pass you by. Okay, now on Friday, we definitely have some changes. We've got Moon that has transitioned into the sign of Sagittarius, and Sagittarius is a fire sign. It is expansive. It loves to explore. It is adventurous, okay? It likes to be free, wild and free. And we have Mars actually conjunct Moon. So Moon's going to be pretty close to Mars throughout the day, morning, early morning, afternoon. And Mars is energizing, it's activating, it's willpower, drive, ambition. I mean, I feel like everything that we got from the new moon in this water sign, dealing with, the deep waters of things, now it's going into the fire sign. And it's almost like we're now accelerating and activating and expanding those new moon seeds that were planted on Thursday. Remember, you do have a few days to complete some sort of new moon ritual. And if you're not part of my Rise and Thrive, I give very specific new moon rituals and with essential oils, with resins, with journaling prompts, and all of that so that you get the most out of them. So you can check that out. But here we're carrying it forward. We're expanding it. We're activating it even more. And here that's bold actions too. And so here we're going to take some risks. I love this. It's courageous. It's exciting. It's very exciting. And then look, you also have Uranus now exactly opposite the sun. And the sun is our vitality. And it's our energy, it's our confidence, it's our purpose. And so we may have this breakthrough, like connection and understanding, or like a next level space that we enter in with our own identity and our purpose and our energy and our vitality. So I love this. It can, again, because it's so much energy, sometimes it can create that restlessness, like, you've taken 5 shots of espresso. So keep that in mind. If you do water treatment would be excellent, since this is in a water sign. And the fact that moon is in fire, I would also move the body. I would, get some good sweat and, maybe use a sauna. Mars is a part of this. So sauna, heat, sweating, that would be another way to combat if there's hyperstimulation. All right, so that's our Friday. Oops, I gotta go back to Saturday. On Saturday, we still are dealing with this opposition between Uranus and Sun, but the Sun is now entered Sagittarius. So we are officially in Sagittarius season here on Saturday. This is a mutable sign, so we are kind of at that ending of fall, beginning of winter season. And so we have 3 planets here in Sagittarius. This is a really great time to do something so different, because Uranus does that too. Uranus over here does like new and different, because it's wanting a better experience and a more innovative experience. And here with Mars and Moon here, your desires are going to be to just go out and explore and have an adventure and experience something new, something that is just going to like expand your world and expand your life. This is something that I do often. I have Sagittarius in my 4th house, and that means when it comes to my home, I love to experience new things. And one of the ways that I satisfy that is by creating and making new dishes and new recipes. So that's how I have adventure in my home. Is I work with so many different cuisine styles, and I get that variety, that spice of life, just by trying and making dishes that I've never made before. So this is the time to, again, taste new things, feel new things, experience new things. It's just such a playful, excited, inspired sign. And we have this stellium here on Saturday. We also have Mercury continuing to retrograde back. It's going to retrograde all the way till it gets 20 degrees of Scorpio. And remember, with Mercury retrograde, if I don't think I summarized this yet, but it deals with the mind. So we're also getting close to Venus, and it's going to continue throughout this whole weekend and next week. But Venus is relationships. Mercury retrograde in Scorpio, miscommunications, misunderstanding. So just make sure that we don't jump to conclusions when someone is saying something. Let's make sure we're reading it and understanding properly what they're intending to say. And also, if somebody is misunderstanding you, instead of getting frustrated more within that conversation or fight or argument, to backtrack a bit and say, okay, maybe I need to say it a different way so that they're truly getting what I'm having to say, what I'm trying to say, what my intention is. So yeah, there's going to be possibly more disagreements and arguing and fighting. And Scorpio, it's ruled by Mars. It's intense. Mars is also in a fire sign. So there could be just blasting of some very painful words, bitter, biting type of words, with this being in Scorpio nonetheless. So just be cognizant that this is in the air. And so when you do know that, like, you can take a breather and take a pause and backtrack and like, okay, let's try this again. Let's try this conversation again. But another beautiful thing though is that here you have this opportunity with both Mercury and Venus coming together, Mercury retrograde, and they're in Scorpio. You have this opportunity to really have some powerful conversations that change the dynamic and nature of the relationship, where you can experience true healing here. And it's not going to be comfortable or fun, but it's important. So, all right, so there is that. And then also Mercury is part of this grand water trine pretty much exact, not exact, I'm sorry, Jupiter is 24 degrees, but Mercury is 25 and Saturn is 25. So here there is like this grounding energy from Saturn that gives you that support and stability. And then you have Jupiter that also helps expand the mind and expand how you are seeing things. So this is a lot of, and this is also connection, warmth, empathy, generosity. So that's definitely in our favor with this Mercury retrograde. So it isn't only just hanging out by itself in retrograde. It is fully supported by Jupiter as well as Saturn. So I love that. Okay, on Sunday, we have Mercury and Venus getting closer together. So all the things I talked about apply. And then we still have Sun opposite Uranus. That's going to still apply as well. But the one change we have is Moon. Moon is in an Earth sign, Capricorn, and I think that's very welcome with all this yang energy, with all these activations, with all these revelations. We get to bring it in here on Sunday. And this brings stability. This brings practicality. This is like, okay, well, I got all this information, or I've had all these conversations. I have these new experiences and understandings. And now how do I integrate it all? How do I practically, utilize all of this new energy and all this new information? And it's so calming. It's so grounded. And this, I feel like this is actually kind of a breath of fresh air from all the intensity and all of the yang. But do know that we still have this grand water trine. Okay. So Mercury is still well supported by Jupiter and Saturn. So I love this for us. It's such a beautiful combination of activating energies, liberating, opening energies, but also embodiment and integration and groundedness and practicality that's also baked into it. So it's quite a especially Uranus being in Taurus, that's a bit more grounded than when Uranus is in Gemini too. So that brings some of that earth energy into the mix as well. So enjoy this week. Please let me know where Scorpio is in your chart, what house number, and make sure to plant those new moon seeds so that you get to reap the benefits in the future 6 months from now. All right. Thank you so much. And we will see you in the next forecast. Do you want to know what your next birthday year holds? Well, your birthday is not just another celebration. It is a powerful astrological moment. It's when the sun returns to the same degree as when you were born, and whatever is in the sky on that day, that essentially is the birth chart for the entire year. And this reveals major themes, opportunities, and potential changes, transitions that you're going to be going through. So whether you want to know about career changes or relationship changes or possibly a move, all of it is there in the solar return chart. Now, don't navigate this next year blindly. Go ahead and book a solar return reading down below so that you are stepping into this new chapter with clarity and confidence.